Hello, fellow cosmic travelers. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader today. And as you might have noticed, many readers are making pretty significant changes in the way in which they do readings or the content of their readings, or you might notice us kind of oscillating back and forth. And this is indicative of the changes that are occurring within the collective right now. Holly and myself, some of you have worked with Holly. She's a powerful Reiki master. She is the person that I've chosen to partner up with. She's my business partner. She's a fellow healer and a very powerful channeler of the divine as well. And the clients we have in our group coaching program and then individually have all been reaching out to us this month, and there's a theme this month. So I wanted to go ahead and come on here to do a reading to hopefully offer you guys some guidance, some support, and just to help maybe ease this transition that we're experiencing in December. Now, we saw ourselves going through an eclipse. We saw a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. We're going into Venus retrograde season here in the sign of, thankfully, earthy, very grounded Capricorn, very practical energy, which is a great energy for Venus to go retrograde in. And, you know, it might bring up some reminiscing of the past or some of that Six of Cups energy of kind of wishing we had what we had before rather than being able to focus on the present. And I do see that creating some longing in a lot of people in the collective, not just in the Twin Flame or Divine Counterpart collective, but in the Lightworker collective, in the whole collective of the world. So I channel for Lightworkers, starseeds, twin souls, higher level soulmates, and kindred spirits. I am attuned in particular to the Divine Masculine energy. I carry a lot of that within myself, although I identify as the Divine Feminine counterpart, but these are just labels, and the labels are really falling away as we end this year. So we're closing out cycles, we're closing out patterns, we're closing out relationships, we're closing out beliefs, belief systems, and old paradigms. And I know you guys can feel this because I'm getting emails, like I said, from my clients, and I know what I'm feeling, and I know what my fellow Divine Feminine, very close confidants and friends are feeling as well. So if you're feeling ungrounded, if you're feeling imbalanced, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling just that really keen sense of wanting companionship and partnership, you are not alone. So let's go ahead and explore. If you are seeking extra help or guidance at this time, you can reach out to myself, and Holly and I are booking into January at this point, January 2022, and we do offer private healing sessions. Now, those healing sessions are with both of us, and we will meet, so it's a 2-on-1 session, and we will meet and go over your journey and go over what you're going through at this current time, what you can expect moving forward, how to move through these turbulent, challenging times, as well as what your gifts are and how to utilize those gifts and how to make the necessary changes and ground those into your physical world. So if you're looking for additional support, you can check out the website for that, and you can email me as well. But like I said, we're booking into January, like late January at this point. So we are going to be focusing on a few new avenues coming in January 2022. So we'll be offering different packages to clients, and one of those will be an abundance package, and we'll talk more about that when Holly comes on the channel. It's just been so turbulent this month, honestly, that it hasn't been the right time for us to come on video. So we're waiting for that green light from our guides and from the universe. And so without further delay, I'm going to go into the card portion of the reading. And if you'd like to support me, another way is to head on over to my Patreon. The link is below. I have 3 different tiers with different content, and you can check out my written readings there. I have a lot of written content, not just readings, but content, information, and guidance and support on the journey. Please note that I do share when I feel called and compelled to share, and my sharing is about quality. It's not about quantity. So please understand that these are channeled messages, they're guided messages, and they come at very specific times for specific purposes. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, subscribe. That helps more people join, be able to see my videos, be able to access my videos, have knowledge of the channel, and be able to receive the guidance that they need at this time. So I've got the Goddess deck, I've got the Cosmic Reading cards, I've got the Osho Zen Tarot, which is a different sort of tarot deck, and then I have the Work Your Light Oracle. This Work Your Light Oracle has been calling me a lot lately, so I'm not surprised that I was called to use that for this reading as well. And we're going to start with these two decks. We're going to start with they want me to start with the Cosmic Reading cards. So they're activation cards for the soul. We're going to start here, and then we will move on to the Tarot deck, the Goddess deck, and the Work Your Light Oracle. So I'm going to call on my guides. I'm going to call on the highest of the high, the divine light within all of us, that divine spark. And I'm calling on my ancestors, in particular that great grandmother energy, the divine feminine energy that is rising and ascending on this planet now as I speak. Calling on my highest self, which I know is not separate from me, but is a part of me always, as is with you. And I'm calling on my spirit team. Calling on my white light and blue light team. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your presence, and the channeling will begin now. So, Divine Masculine has been pretty chatty in the readings, and I think part of that is I have closed off, access to myself because I've needed to rest and I've needed to regenerate and recuperate. So the Divine Masculines, yes, some of them have come to me, some high-profile masculines have come to me in my dreams quite frequently over the past 3 months, and otherwise I'm meeting them in real life. And so I do feel like, because that channel is somewhat closed off, that they're experiencing a little bit of frustration, maybe an anxiety over, the need and desire to speak their truth. But the feminine in general is much less concerned with the label. She's much less concerned even with the person that she identifies as her divine counterpart, and she's more concerned with her mission on this planet. So a lot of things have shifted, and I don't think the masculine was prepared for this or necessarily expected this from his feminine. So you're exhibiting tremendous strength and courage and power, divine feminine, and this is enticing. What it's doing is, the more you turn away from the physical masculine, the more he has to turn inward to access his inner divine feminine. So that's creating a significant shift and a lot of longing for the feminine. So I'm focusing a lot on the feminine energies right now, because most of you are pretty detached. Most of you are, if you're not physically detached, you're at least emotionally detached. You may be even spiritually detached, in the sense that you're just living your life. You're focused on the 3D changes and efforts. And a lot of feminines are, moving, shifting in some way, moving jobs, moving house, moving locations. Some of you will be doing all of the above. And by the end of next year, it will be a very different environment that you're in. So I want to go ahead and pull a card for that, for the divine feminine energy and essence. And again, this is within and without, so internal and external. Choices. There's choices to be made. So some of the tarot cards that came to mind would be the Lover's card, the Chariot, the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, those types of energy. Sometimes the Two of Cups can indicate a choice, but I usually identify that card as a union card. So there's a need here to... Two of Swords. Yeah, a need here to, two different pathways, and she represents the path. I mean, you can see she is the path. The path splits in two different directions here. So feminine, you are the path, you are the sun, you are the radiance that you so desire. It's within you, it's not outside of you. So neither path is right or wrong. And then for some of you, as I expressed a moment ago, this is about moving locations, moving homes, moving jobs. But for some of you, this is going to be about leaving something behind. that is more tangible in the emotional sense. So not that those things can't be emotional, they absolutely can and probably will be, but this is about a person. So I see this as leaving behind that aspect of yourself that may have been a victim to this journey, a victim to the label, a victim to the actions of your counterpart. I'm going to go ahead and grab a cough drop. The cough is really just activated when I talk, which is interesting. So hence the guidance for all of us to rest this month. Okay, so what I'm feeling is the feminine. You might feel split in two at this time in terms of where you're going, where you're headed, what comes next. Even your guidance might be a little obscured at this time. It's because you're not supposed to take any action just yet. Okay, the answers will become clear, the way will become clear, but you have to keep, you don't have to do anything. The message is to keep shining your light and keep radiating that inner essence, and understand that on this journey, there's always going to be choices. Choices have consequences and repercussions, and we know this, but it's not to punish ourselves for the choices we've made. So some of you are lingering in self-doubt, self-hate, or some of you are in denial that your choices had the consequences they did. So some of you need to take accountability, and some of you that are out there need to forgive yourself for the choices that you made. You may think that you caused separation, or that you caused, someone else pain, or you need to let that go, because you don't need to. You have the choice to let that go, okay? A choice to let that go, because it's not serving you. It's not serving the other person. It's not serving the connection. It's not serving anyone. And so just, understand that things did happen for a reason, and that you made the best choice possible that you could make at the consciousness, the level of consciousness and awareness that you were at that time. You're very courageous. You might be feeling a lot of activity in your heart and solar plexus at this time, but listen to the longing of your soul to grow and expand and reach those higher states of consciousness. If you've outgrown something, just acknowledge that. Acknowledge what's pulling at your heartstrings and your soul, okay? So for the divine masculine energy within all of us, we're being asked to focus on unconditional love. Quite fascinating that the feminine is the one kind of entangled here in some grief and self-doubt, and even maybe self-pity and victimhood, and releasing herself from that. And the masculine energy is working on unconditional love for self and for others. So it's almost like the masculine seems to be supporting the feminine energy within us at this time. Please, listen for your inner masculine and feminine. Those of you at a more advanced stage of the twin flame journey who have the grasp and understanding that this journey is truly about yourself. It's about the self. It's about your ascension. It's about your growth, your evolution. It's not about an other. It's not about the physical counterpart. That physical counterpart is simply an extension of the work that you're doing internally. So if you don't do the work internally, you will not have that physical counterpart. Okay? A soulmate relationship, if it's not a higher level soulmate, can be different. A karmic relationship, very different. But when you're talking about the person you identify as your twin soul, as the other you, if the work is not done internally, it can't reflect externally. That's why you hear readers like myself stress the importance of working on yourself and not just watching readings that talk about the divine masculine. That's why my readings they include guidance, they include teachings. This isn't just, this is what your masculine said. I might do those readings, but I'm also going to include teachings and guidance so that you understand how to work through the longing, how to work through the pining, how to work through the pain of this journey. Okay, the how to access that unconditional love for self and for others. So In the past, the masculine chose conditional love, conditioned responses, conditional relationships. And, you often wonder, probably one of the most asked questions is, why did the masculine choose somebody else? Why did they choose that karmic person? Why did they go back? Oftentimes your masculine will come running to you and then go back to an ex, and you're like, what the fuck? So why does the masculine do this? They are running from the weight of the journey and the connection. It's a heavy weight to carry, to have to evolve this much in one lifetime. It forces them to level up in such a way that they have to leave behind their former life, their former belief systems, their patterns, their conditioning, their jobs, their families, their wives or husbands, children sometimes. And sometimes they can go into a state of blaming the feminine. Well, if she or he hadn't come into my life, then I would have just been living, yes, masculine, you would have been living in intolerance of self. You would have been living in self-hatred. You would have been living in darkness, and you would have been living in a place where you weren't authentic to yourself. And eventually the crash would have come, but your feminine was there to shine the light to expedite the process. The masculines run, quote unquote, into the arms of another person because they don't feel like they have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I can't cut it. I'm not up for the challenge. I'm not who you think I am. This is not, you deserve somebody better. Why me? Okay, all of these questions swirl around in their heads, and they may have even communicated this to you in the physical. So what they're reflecting in those moments is your need to go within and to create that union and that acceptance of the masculine and feminine within yourself. Oftentimes the feminine thinks, oh, I have mastered the masculine essence, the masculine energy, but in reality, you might have hatred towards the masculine energy. You might have a lot of fear about your own masculine energy and how to master that. You might feel like it's going to overpower you, and so you end up doing nothing, or you retrograde, you go backwards, you revert back to old behaviors, old patterns, old relationships. You have to look at your patterns. You have to look at your thoughts, feminine. You have to look at the way in which this journey has affected you and what you have been through, and then you will see your masculine and the choices they're making through a different light. So if you can choose to see this from a higher perspective, right? It's like that Coldplay song, Higher Power. You've got a higher power, so access it, use it. See this from a higher perspective, a higher vantage point, and realize that your masculine, they don't even know why they're not choosing you. They just know they don't feel good enough. So anyway, I digress. But what they're working on now is unconditional love, love for self, love for others, and a mastery of forgiveness. Okay, and conditional love. Some of the attachments that we have to that is we love with conditions. We have expectations and attachments. That's a big one. We're attached to outcomes. We're attached to people. We expect them to behave a certain way. If they don't, we're upset and we blame them. It also comes with a lot of fear and a lot of judgment. Now, what happens is we give our love freely as long as our expectations are met. The conditions are met. When the conditions aren't met, we take the love away. So when you have unconditional love, again, it stems from self. You accept your imperfections. You accept that you've made mistakes in the past. You accept you've hurt people in your life. You accept that you can now make better choices. You have love and compassion for all parts of yourself and all the decisions you've made in your life, all the actions you've taken, all the relationships that you've been through, all the situations you put yourself in. Okay? A lot of this is about the inner child for the masculine, healing that wounded inner child. And being able to see those wounds through the eyes of love. The masculine, masculine energy is taught that vulnerability is weakness. So what they're mastering right now, with the help of their inner feminine energy, since the outer feminine energy has sort of stepped back and allowed them to do this work on their own, they're mastering the art of vulnerability. And with that comes unconditional love. They know what they need to walk away from as well. So let's get a card for the journey. Let go. Yeah, and that's what we're doing. Letting go of the labels, letting go of the fear, letting go of the expectations, letting go of the conditioning and the conditioned responses that we have to life, and just allowing the truth to come forward, allowing ourselves to trust that if we let go, we will be caught, we will be held, that we will have everything that we need. There is a letting go process, and this has invoked some fear and kind of a surprise energy in the masculines. They knew you were strong, but they didn't expect the feminine to completely kind of shut down, shut the door, walk away, and put up those boundaries. I mean, many of you have put up such firm boundaries that the masculine can't walk through unless they make the necessary changes. So they have to make those changes in the physical world, and it has to be reflected so that you can see that they've made those changes. Words will no longer cut it for the feminine. So the feminine is sitting there saying, words are pretty, words are wonderful, but you have to back up those words with actions. Interesting. We have temperance for the feminine. So yeah, with the choices, that's interesting. So a need to master and balance. You know, the feminine feels pretty imbalanced, as I stated. So I need to create that inner union, master, you know, the art of mastery of feminine and masculine, of yin and yang within oneself, and not seeking it externally, not seeking it from the outer masculine, but being able to go within and create that inner balance. And we have the energy of swan and eagle. We have the kundalini energy, the serpent energy. So the energy of the subconscious or the unconscious. We have the energy of light. We have the energy of the lotus flower blooming from the dark. We have the energy of the swan, which is grace and beauty and embracing that. That's the feminine energy. And then I feel like this is more the masculine energy. It's the energy of the eagle. So the energy, you know, as an apex predator, they reign over the land. And it's the energy of freedom. It's the energy of you free yourself from your previous perceptions of life, and you come out of the box that you were in. And suddenly everything looks different. So it's about perspective this month, because maybe you can't change your physical surroundings this month. We can't change necessarily what's happening in the world, but what we can do is change our own perceptions in our internal world. And that's what you're working on, feminine, right now. The masculine also is kind of in you know, some way, is feeling some way, and this is swords energy. So let me just refresh myself, because it's been a while since I've used this deck. This is a all right. You've got higher power. Now I have that higher power song in my head. Okay, so okay, so this is the Page of Swords. It's called the Clouds in this deck. The Page of Swords. Yeah, this is they might be throwing temper tantrums, okay? Your masculine energy. I actually threw a temper tantrum yesterday. Something happened right before my group call. Nobody in the group knew it because I didn't express it, I didn't communicate it, but something happened, and it was literally like 12 minutes before the call, and I still had to grab a shower, and I had to clean up something, and it was like, it was, you know, it was an accident. It was an accident, and it wasn't anybody's fault, but I was just frustrated, and I kind of, You know, I raised my voice and I threw a little temper tantrum. So my inner masculine was pissed. Like he felt like he wasn't in control. So there was a feeling of being out of control for the masculines, and this feels pretty uncomfortable. Their mind feels kind of discombobulated all over the place. I feel like they're grasping for clarity. They're grasping for answers right now. What a lot have expressed in my group as of yesterday was that their masculines, those who are in contact with their masculines, they expressed that the masculines were angry, that they were even telling them, communicating with them, I'm angry, I'm pissed. One of them actually sent a Hulk emoji. So he's like, I'm pissed, you know. I don't know what to do. I don't know why I'm feeling this. I don't know what to do with what I'm feeling. And it's like the reliance on the feminine to explain everything. And the feminine's like, yo, I've got to release you. You've got to figure that out on your own. I can't save you. I can't rescue you. I'm going through my own stuff over here. Look what she's going through, choices and balance and temperance. And, you know, she's got a lot of stuff going on, and that she's recognizing that she is very worthy and that what she's going through matters too. She's not as freely giving away her power or energy or time anymore. So he's a little pissed, not necessarily towards the feminine, although maybe partially, maybe like a quarter of that. He's pissed at the world. He's pissed at his job. He's pissed at the holidays. I feel like the masculines are just pissed that they have to buy gifts and it's holiday time, and all they want to do is just be alone right now. They just want to be alone. They don't want to be around anybody, honestly, except their feminine. But then that pisses them off too, that they want to be around you, because they have tried so hard to block out this connection, to block you out, to move on. And some of them have even moved on in the physical, quote unquote, with somebody else. And they're like, it doesn't work. I can't get this person out of my damn mind. So yeah, they're going through it right now. Now we have the energy for the connection coming up, and this is the trust card. So I'm going to look again at the book. I think this is the Knight of Cups. I believe this is the Knight of Cups, but we're going to just double check. Yeah, it's a Knight of Cups. And this, you know, in this card, it's depicted as a free fall. You know, trusting that, like I said, trusting you're going to be caught. Trusting that you're going to be taken care of. Knowing that all preparations have been made. So both of you, there's a need to focus on, and again, this is your internal energy. Let's focus on that primarily. And then if you want to apply it to the external, your external masculine, which is you in another body, that's fine. Or your feminine, you in another body, that's fine. But the work that's being done, the real true work, is internally. So where is it that you have not trusted yourself, or have not trusted life, or have not trusted others to take care of you, and to kind of give you that padding that you require when things don't go as planned? You know, when you're kind of struggling, or when life has stripped you bare, emotionally or physically or spiritually, or maybe all of the above, you know, in those tower moments. So I feel like the counterparts right now are in a period of intense healing, not even integration or activation. That'll come next month. Every month has a different theme to it, but it's the energy of, okay, what do I need to be focusing on right now? And right now it's the trust factor, which honestly, the trust is gone. And feminines, you've walked away, and now the masculine's like, can I trust her? Can I trust that she won't leave? And I use he or she loosely because, as you guys know, a male can be feminine, a female can be masculine. But it's just easier for the sake of the reading, to explain it that way. But yeah, I mean, the masculine doesn't trust the feminine doesn't trust the masculine. Look at, you know, where both of you are. There's a need to let go. There's a need to release. And then the trust will come back. But it's okay if you don't feel the trust right now, guys. But you've got to trust yourself. So can you trust your own inner masculine? Because a lot of times, if you really do the work, you find, I actually didn't trust myself. That's who I didn't trust. That's why I pushed my counterpart away. I didn't let them in because I didn't trust myself. It's an aspect of you that they're reflecting to you, just as you do the same for them. That's why this connection is challenging. That's why it's not the same as a 3D connection, guys. It's not the same. You make the same choices, you say the same things, you do the same actions, you're going to have very different consequences on this journey. I just got the Align Your Life card. So the masculine is still aligning their lives to be more purposeful to what's really, truly, what they truly are, who they truly are. And they're awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Yes, they are awakening. Awesome card, masculines. And look, we have two cards here. It's funny because this is face down, and this one is this is a lot more vulnerability, right? This is face up. This is when you're in this position, you are vulnerable. You're exposing your chest, right? Which is your heart. I mean, somebody stabs you in the heart, shoots you in the heart, you're dead. So there's such a vulnerability here that, and you're opening your heart. So there's an opening of the heart, whereas this card is like, ooh, I'm going to go face down so I can see everything on the way down. Like, I want to be in control. There's still an element of control here in this card. But for this one, the masculines are absolutely, especially with the next new moon, I feel they're going to be receiving a lot of communication from their guides and from the universe. And I think that's why a lot of the feminines have been feeling this floaty kind of energy. We've talked a lot about it in my coaching group. You know, you feel like you're high, like you're walking around, you feel like you just smoked a blunt. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. You're walking around, you might even be extra hungry, or you might just, you know, be really sleepy. I know a few in my group expressed they fell asleep yesterday doing, you know, everyday tasks. And so, yeah, I mean, you're floating, you're kind of detached. You've had to detach somewhat from what's going on in the outside world so that you can receive the upgrades. But the physical masculine, okay, let's talk about that for a second. The physical masculine is receiving these upgrades in his physical body. And yeah, he's becoming a new him. The things are being integrated. He's having to free fall. He's having to totally give up his desire and need for control. And that has taken him a long time. He tried to control the connection. He tried to control the pace. He tried to control you. He tried to control everything. And eventually that's when the feminine walked away and said, I cannot be controlled. Neither can this connection or this love. So I'm going to walk away and let you think you can control the situation. And the feminine knows because she used to be controlling. She used to try to control everything and her relationships and the timing of them and everything in her life. And so she's like, I got it. I know how this ends. I'm going to walk away and let you think that you're in control. But I'm really the one in control because I'm the high priestess. I'm the one, I'm leading. I'm leading people. I'm leading myself. I'm leading the world. I'm shining my light, right? The high priestess. And there we see the serpent energy again, which this is the first time I'm noticing that in this card. I've had this deck for about a year. So yeah, a lot of you are receiving, that's why you're feeling like this, is you're receiving crown chakra upgrades, okay? Because the serpent is resting on her crown there. So the Kundalini has risen for the feminines, you know, it rises from the base of the spine and it rises up towards the crown of the head and then beyond. And that energy can feel startling, surprising, scary sometimes, very powerful. You can have people have convulsions with Kundalini energy. People can pass out. People can, you know, you feel like you're having a heart attack. So a lot of different sensations as the energy moves up through the body. But the feminine is, you know, she's also got her solar plexus, her sacral there. I think that's the sacral more so than the solar plexus, is lit up. So that's your soul. That's your center of your soul. That's where the soul is housed in the body. It's also creativity. It's also fertility. So the feminine energy is very, very open. And then she's got her hands. She's got the power in the palms of her hands. So your healing, the healing that you're going through right now, feminine, is you're becoming a more powerful healer, okay? You've got the Egyptian energy here. I see the cat energy. I see Bastet, right? The Egyptian cat goddess. I see that. I also see the energy of the lion, the energy of the energy of the all-seeing, eye, being able to see clearly through the third eye without having to even open your eyes, without having to read something or hear it. You just know it, you feel it. So the clair is coming more online, things becoming more crystal clear. And there's something with mountains, like a mountainous energy. I actually feel like Tibetan energy here. I feel Buddhist energy coming through. There's a lot of Akash energy coming through here. So you might really behoove you right now, feminine, to access your Akashic records and to access some of that healing that wants to step through here. So beautiful, beautiful cards. Let's see for the energy of the connection, the energy of the union. So I got 3 cards that just sort of fell out. We have the energy of take a break, and that's exactly that's what I've been requesting everyone do for the month of December. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Yeah, so don't worry, like there's more time. You're not going to run out of time. But right now it's time to rest. It's not time to go. It's not time to act. So that's a pretty simple message. And then the Pleiades message, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So you're a light worker and a star seed. You came here to uplift the consciousness of the planet. You came here to be a leader. You came here to assist others in stepping forward into their power, into their light, shining the light for them so that they can access their own light, and making sure that humanity lifts and rises in consciousness as humanity progresses here. So yeah, I mean, the Pleiadian energy is, I identify with the Pleiadian energy. I am a starseed, as you guys know, and oftentimes as a starseed, you have a lot of different starseed energies within you, but this is one of the energies that I identify. Not primarily, it's not my primary energy, but it's an energy that's very loving. It's full of light. And it's an energy that's required right now on the planet in order for everything to move forward and for humanity to ascend. So, I mean, this is all about raising the vibration. They're a beautiful group of star beings, and they are also connected to technology. So this can be like the 5D energy that we know is, toxic, the energy of how technology can actually heal instead of hurt humanity. And what's interesting about the Pleiadians is they've been incarnating on Earth since, humanity has existed. So they're very, very ancient beings. And one of the things that comes through with this, guys, for the feminine and masculine is to write or to channel or to speak up in some way. So if you're being called to write a book, if you're being called to start a podcast, if you're being called to, I don't know, people do still do blogs, write a blog or start your own channel, now is the time to do it, right? So again, it's not about taking hard action steps. It's about planting the seeds and maybe writing out an intention to do so. But speaking, even just speaking in conversation, it doesn't have to be a YouTube channel. It doesn't have to be a business. It can be just the conversations you have in your daily life. That's so, so powerful. There's a lot of Gemini energy with the Pleiadians, a lot of chatty energy. So you find yourself being able to speak clearly, speak with intention, and you really get your audience's attention. Okay, so if you identify with that, guys, beautiful, beautiful energy indeed. And then lastly, we have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So there's a pondering energy here. Like, what is my soul? What am I here for? What is my soul calling me to do? And what will I do with that information, right? And then I have it, and then I access it, and then what will I do with it? How am I going to change the world? And your soul is calling you towards, seeding the light and releasing the negativity. So a lot of you are going through periods where you might just have sobbing fits, and convulsions of sobbing, and you might have a come to God moment, and you are shedding eons and eons of programming, of fear-based thinking, of being in fight or flight for years and for lifetimes for some of you. And also, the energy of worrying or caring about what other people think. That's a big one that's being shed right now. Feeling like you're not enough, or feeling as if what you have to offer the world just isn't enough. Like in some way you're not enough. So that is also being worked on and healed right now. But yeah, you know, answering the call of the soul. So the masculines, the physical masculine right now is having to really think about this and having to question, is what I'm doing, am I really making a difference in the world? Is this really what I want to be doing? Is this really what I came here to do? And they might feel a little ashamed because the feminine tried to tell them this, there's more to life, there's more to it. And they ignored you, they made fun of you, they in some way belittled you or what you did. I experienced that. It was really painful. And what was happening there is the masculine admires your courage so much, but it comes out sideways because they haven't answered their own call and they see you answering the call of the soul and being successful, and they're like, well, I just don't understand. So there's a bit of jealousy that can occur in these divine connections. So whatever's scary, you know, go beyond the fear, because beyond the fear, you find your gifts, you find the gems, you find the diamonds and the rough, and you already know what you're here to do. Now you just have to go after it. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission from somebody else or even from the universe or from God. Just do it. You are God. You are the spark of the divine. So you're not going to have the perfect plan, divine masculines. You don't have to wait to have a perfect exit strategy. You can just leave. You can walk away. And the masculine energy inside all of us has to learn to trust that you'll be taken care of when you make that decision. As long as you're moving towards the divine and towards the light, and you're making decisions in an authentic place and from that more enlightened vantage point, you're supported by the universe. The universe isn't going to let you fall again. You've learned those lessons. So move towards the direction of your dreams. And I think we're going to stop there, guys. I hope this has given you some insight and clarity. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, watching. Please, guys, like the video before you sign off, because every person who likes, you're giving someone else an opportunity to actually be able to find my channel and to access the videos, and you're helping to support my work. And I pour a lot of heart, soul, and energy and time and devotion into these videos and into my Patreon posts. So thank you so, so much. You know, it's a way of giving back. It takes 2 seconds to like a video. That's all. No strings attached. Just like the video. And I'm sending you guys a lot of support during this month. I know it's challenging. Keep your head up and really, really just love yourself fiercely. Take great care.